Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Proverbs, the 30th chapter. The words of Agur, the son of Jakeh, or Jakeh, even the prophecy, the man spake unto Ithiel, even unto Ithiel and Ukal. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. I neither learned wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the holy. Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fists? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? And who is that? That's the Most High. And what's his name? Yahweh. And what's his son's name? Yahweh Shai. Every word of God is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. That also lines up with Proverbs 18 and 10. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. See, so you gotta, when it comes to the words of the Lord, don't add to his words. Don't pervert it. Right? Do not add to his words, or he may rebuke you and expose you as a liar. That's the danger. And in a Revelation, it talks about that if you take away or add to the words of this book, the Most High is going to add to you the plagues. Two things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Why give me neither poverty nor riches? He's going to explain here in verse 9. Lest I be full, right? If you give me riches and I have overabundance and I'm full, not lacking or wanting anything, I might deny thee, right? And say, who is the Lord Yahweh? So, because one that is a part of what keeps you heavily dependent on the Lord is your lacking, right? Is you constantly being in want, and it keeps you going back to the Lord. But if you have everything, you have to be careful lest you become complacent, right? And you become comfortable, and then you start to go astray. Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain, because now you're so destitute. You're doing whatever it is that you need in order just to survive. So he's saying, give me, just enough to where I'm still dependent on you, but I'm not having to use unjust means just to make ends meet. Accuse not a servant unto his master, lest he curse thee and thou be found guilty. Never slander a worker to the employer, or the person will curse you and you will pay for it. And that's wise words. It says, there is a generation that curseth their father and doth not bless their mother. And that's a wicked generation. And that's a matter of fact. You turn around, look around you, right? You listening to this video, look around you. You're seeing that generation now. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness yet, because they're self-justified. They believe they're like that, holier than thou. In their own eyes, they're pure, but they're still filthy, because pureness is not determined by your conscience or your own mind. It's gauged by the Lord's scale. So here it is, you're still dead in your sins, and you're walking around thinking you're pure in your own eyes. How many people do you see like that? There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, lofty going into proud, and their eyelids are lifted up. They walk around with a proud look. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men. That's a wicked generation. NLT, it says, they have teeth like swords and fangs like knives. They devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among humanity. The horse leech hath two daughters, crying, give, give. There are three things that are never satisfied, yea, four things. Say not, it is enough. It says here, the leech hath two suckers that cry out, more, more. There are three things that are never satisfied, no, four that never say enough. And he's going to expound on that. The grave, right? Because the grave is never full. The barren womb, the earth that is not filled with water, right? Like a barren land, and the fire that saith not, it is enough. See, because it can keep on burning and burning and burning. The eye that mocketh at his father and despiseth to obey his mother, the ravens of the valley shall pick it out. Right? Meaning, the eye belonging to the child that mocketh their parents, right? They despise their parents. They're going to suffer judgment. Okay, this is poetic speak for destruction is going to come upon them, right? With that very eye, they despise their parents. They're going to lose it. And their young eagles, and the young eagles shall eat it. There be three things which are too wonderful for me, yea, four which I know not. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, right? How a serpent, is able to slither up a rock without hands. It says, and I'll finish in the KJV, then read it here. The way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a mate, right? How an eagle glides through the sky. Basically saying here, I don't understand this. How a snake slithers on a rock, how a ship navigates the ocean, how a man loves a woman. Yeah, because, for example, with a man and his maid, you have even a story like Romeo and Juliet. That passion between the two sometimes gets so hot that it's unstoppable. And you can't pinpoint, like, you can't explain really what it is. You just like being around this person, right? And there's no, a logical or scientific reasoning behind it. It just is what it is, right? It says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness. And the eating and wiping of the mouth is to get into adulterous acts, to keep it as PG as possible. An adulterous woman consumes a man. Now, does that mean she put him in a microwave, warmed him up, and ate him? No. How do you think she consumes him? I'll leave that to your imagination. Then wipes her mouth and says, what's wrong with that? So she does this adulterous act and then tries to justify herself and saying, well, she has done no wickedness. For three things the earth is disquieted, and for four which it cannot bear. For a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat. Why is the earth disquieted for a servant reigning? Because he doesn't know how to reign. A servant is not raised in with the skills to be a king or a leader or a prince. Okay, so he's gonna bring that kingdom to ruin. And a fool when he is filled with meat, because then he has the energy to continue on in his folly. For an odious woman when she is married, and an handmaid that is heir to her mistress. NLT, it says, a slave who becomes king, an overbearing fool who prospers, a bitter woman who finally gets a husband, oh Lord, and a servant girl who supplants her mistress, right? It says, there be four things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer, so that they don't have to go out looking for it in the winter. The conies are but feeble folk, yet make they their houses in the rocks. The locusts have no king, yet they go forth all of them by bands, by armies. These are your, you know what locusts are. So their formation, they go in, they don't have like a king that's directing them, saying leading the charge, but yet they all go forth like armies. The spider taketh hold with her hands and is in the king's palaces. So it says here, Lizards are easy to catch. Interesting. So consider. Okay, so that word spider goes into lizard, and we'll click that. We'll look into that over here. But it says lizards are easy to catch, but they are found even in kings' palaces. So you see how frail and fragile a lizard is, and yet it's able to make its place to a way that even you, being stronger than it, can't reach. Let's go into that word spider. Yep, a kind of lizard. There be three things which go well, yea, four are calmly and going. A lion which is strongest among beasts, and turneth not away for any. A greyhound, and he goat also, and a king, against whom there is no rising up. Right? So as it says here, they go well, as in NLT, there are three things that walk with stately stride. No, four that strut about. Right? That's in there. Well, let's read in the NKJV. There are three things that are majestic in pace. Yes, four which are stately in walk. A lion which is mighty among beasts and does not turn away from any. A greyhound, which is that, okay. Here it says a strutting rooster, a male goat also, and a king whose troops are with him. If thou hast done foolishly in lifting up thyself, or if thou hast thought evil, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. If you have been a fool by being proud or plotting evil, cover your mouth in shame, right? That's the least you can do. Surely the churning of milk bringeth forth butter, and the wringing of the nose bringeth forth blood. So the forcing of wrath bringeth forth strife. It says, as the beating of cream yields butter, and striking the nose causes bleeding, so stirring up anger causes quarrels, right? And these are all true sayings, when you look at it, because that's what a lot of these proverbs are. It's a compilation of true sayings, and you take from it what you can, you learn from it what you can, and the rest you lay to heart. So Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Bracha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.